So you'll see here that given an int array, return a new array with double the length where its last element is the same as the original array. So in other words, we have an array here, length 3. We're going to have a new array of length 6. So we're going to double the amount of elements that we have. And another thing to note here is that if I were to create a new array here, let's say int new is equal to, or we can't use new because it's a reserved keyword. Let's call the new array c, and let's say int c is equal to new int, and the length is, let's say, 5, so, or 3. So when I create a length of 3, in memory we have 3 boxes within which we can, of course, enter in potential data, and each of these elements are referenced by an index of their own, the count of which starts from 0, increments onwards. Now, of course, in each of these boxes, by default, if of course they don't have any elements, by default we have an element of 0 that is, of course, an element which is initialized to 0. So whether or not we initialize an array is besides the question, those zeros will be in there regardless. So we're actually going to have our C array, which in this question, in this example, would be this. It's going to be double the amount of the old array that we had here. So it's going to be nums.length multiplied by 2. So the C array will be the length of the old array, which is nums.length, multiplied by 2. And then, of course, we have many zeros in our memory, and you'll recognize that the last element of the C array should be the last element of the nums array. The way to express that is the first element, or rather the last element of the nums c.length minus 1, that would be the last element, should equal the last element in the old array. And then, of course, we can just return C.